Well. With 3 chapters of the new Baki manga Baki Rahen released, it's a good time to discuss it. What's happening in the story, and in short, the projection it might have. Although the usual will happen, we will make our badass and hard-working theories about what could happen in the next chapters. Just for Itagaki to smoke a damn joint as big as Hanayama's dick and suddenly put us in. After the frozen primitive man and revived legendary samurai, I expect anything. Aliens, demons, who knows? At least it's worth celebrating that the damn Bakido 2 has already ended. The recent part of Bakido has been quite disappointing. There are only a few redeemable moments. Overall, it has been very weak. Since Musashi, we've kept our heads down, but let's focus on the present instead of dwelling on the past. Initially, it doesn't look bad. Good for those who are a bit lost. Baki Dao, the currently broadcast Baki manga, is part of a series of different manga, unlike Naruto, which has a single continuous storyline. Something like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Super. I don't know what the context is for doing this, but the fact is that's how it's done. I assume it's a matter of contracts with publishers or something like that. I don't know. It's actually irrelevant.
The recommended watch order is Baki Grappler, Baki New Grappler, Baki Hanma Son of Ogre, Bakido 2014, and Bakido 2018. And with the one we finally meet today, Baki Ragen.
This manga has concluded its publication, and a new manga called Baki Ragen has begun publishing, which has 3 chapters to date of this video and to the delight of many fans, myself included. Apparently, at least the initial arc, which seems to be quite long, will be totally focused on Jack Hama. He returns to his origins, becoming an antagonist once again, mirroring his debut arc in the underground arena. After his crushing victory against Nomi no Sukune, Cyborg Jack challenges all the fighters of the Vacaverse to punch him in the liver. So Jack is sort of an antagonist, but also a protagonist. Baki seems quite sidelined in the story now, which is understandable. He's a character that has been left too much in the air. Following the events of Son of Ogre, Baki's future direction is unclear. He still wants to surpass his father, but it's not the same anymore. The relationship between Yujiro and Baki, while not the best yet, is far from what they had at the beginning of the manga. Baki's desire to pursue Yujiro has significantly diminished for the time being. Based on what's hinted, Jack will defeat challengers to confront the final boss, his brother Baki Hanma. And then if he manages to defeat him, because after all it's not an easy job beating Baki, would he go on to challenge Yujiro? Things as they are bad, very bad, Itagaki has to do in this arc so that it is not spectacular and even emotional. Literally, absolutely anything can happen. Jack with a new power-up, any deep conversation with Yujiro or his brother. These highly anticipated fights are truly intriguing, as the ones I'm most excited about are those I'm unsure if Itagaki will dare to deliver. It's Jack versus Hanayama and Jack versus Biscuit Oliva, I forgot, although I take this for granted. A rematch against the Pickle of Tricks. Jack is a beloved character in the fandom because he's super cool and a great guy. Itagaki will likely do well with him. He must be aware that the sumo arc was extremely bad. And probably now he wants to step up a bit and give us fans a bit of what we like. But what's currently happening in Baki Ragen, if you're not reading it directly, you're unaware of its existence. First off, I recommend it to you. Although the start is not crazy, normal, but it does seem like things are going to escalate rapidly. And as for the story, I'm gonna give you a very comfortable summary of what's been happening in the manga. The manga opens by introducing an elderly samurai who initially appears to be a fool in an attempt to draw the reader's interest. Itagaki often introduces seemingly strong characters only to have them defeated later in the story. If you are fans of Baki, you already know if he is a descendant of Musashi Miyamoto or something like that, if he is a tremendous samurai, blah 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 blah. He accompanies Tokugawa to request a contender for Tokugawa to fight against. Extremely tough, devilish, and insane, he confronts the son of the notorious Jack Hanma. Why drag it out? He lasted under 20 seconds in combat. Despite doubts, Jack is one of the biggest beasts in the work. Time will tell. Let's go. I refuse to think that Itagaki is going to dedicate an arc to Jack when he is still not ready to face the rivals that he will definitely have to defeat. The next chapter is a flashback providing more context about Jack's early childhood when he was a young boy. It is revealed to us that Jack is a believer in the Christian religion and moreover quite devout, and this is great. Do you want to know why? Do you remember the fight of Jack against Piggold where Jack said, "God man, for the first time in my life I'm going to ask you a favor." God, I've never asked you for anything, but please let me win. Well, already by itself, the phrase and the moment were incredible. Now, having the context that Jack believes in God, it adds a lot because he was genuinely asking something for the first time from God, whom he always revered. In the flashback, we see how much Jack strived since childhood. training until his eyes bled and he fainted from exhaustion. I hope we get more flashbacks of Jack than just this one. There may not be much more to show, but I appreciate the lore expansion Itagaki is providing. Finally, Jack's first serious and dangerous contender is introduced, Shinogi Koshio, Dr. Kureha's brother. Despite many believing Koshio is severely outmatched in power and stands no chance against the cyborg, they might be shocked. While you are partly right, Koshio is not exactly super strong. We must remember his nerve and tendon cutting abilities, along with his new finger cutting skill, and other tactics that make him a very lethal fighter. Even though he doesn't have demonic strength and resistance, it's clear that Koshio can't beat Jack, but be careful. Precisely these type of fighters, so technical, are the ones that can counter a guy the most. Who uses instinctive, uncontrolled brute force. Like Jack Hama, remember the problems Shibukawa gave Jack in the Underground Arena tournament? In both Baki and reality, underestimating an opponent can be costly. It's a mistake one should avoid. Motove put Musashi to sleep with a key because Musashi was overconfident and didn't see Motove as a threat. So I am eagerly looking forward to the showdown against Koshio. Initially, I might have thought it was a bad idea, but you have to gradually fight stronger opponents. You can start in Chapter 3 fighting against Baki. We'll see in the following chapters if Koshio manages to measure up or not. However, it's worth noting that Jack shouldn't be overconfident. In Baki, characters are always improving, gaining strength or new overpowered techniques with each story arc. That's why we shouldn't rule out more power-ups in the fighters of the Bakiverse. Without going any further, I have many doubts that Jack can handle Pickle. Why? Because although I think Jack could, he could now defeat the son of Ogre version of Pickle, but with great difficulty. As it was well said in his arc, Pickle is still in the development stage. And it has already been seen that he is currently much bigger. I don't know if he's taller, but the guy is 3 times more muscular. His body has grown massively. Previously weighing around 200 kilos, he now likely weighs about 250 kilos. He's a complete monster, so his strength must have increased significantly, making it difficult for Jack. So much so that I seriously doubt he can beat him, but anyway, it's still too early to talk. The confrontation may last a year or longer. Leave me in comments, what do you think about a hypothetical Jack versus Pickle nowadays with both of their physical states? And in general terms, this is all we have so far from Baki Rahen, the new Baki manga. As you can see, the manga looks very promising, and I believe that those of us who have been fans for several years and like this manga for what it is, will love seeing all the wild fights and subplots that can develop. I just beg to God that Itagaki doesn't introduce us to the most fetid, boring, bland, pulled out of nowhere and parentless character possible. It dominates Mesa, only to vanish from the work after being consumed. We're tired of that. Itagaki, seriously? Many thanks to the channel members. As always, we love you a lot, lizards, and we'll see you in the next videos. Bye.